Let me set the scene for you. It's a bright morning in Los Angeles, and I'm here, boarding this swanky cross-country flight to New York with my 5-year-old daughter, Josie. She's holding her stuffed bunny like it's her best friend in the world. Honestly, probably is. And I'm juggling my carry-on and trying not to trip over my own feet. Ever been in that kind of chaos? Yeah, that was me, right there, looking like a hot mess in designer sneakers. So, we finally make it to our seats in business class. Thank you very much. Expensive as hell tickets. And I'm thinking, all right, Candace, just relax. You've got 4 hours of peace before this gala madness kicks in. Josie climbs into her seat, all giggles and bunny hugs, and I sink into mine, already dreaming of that in-flight glass of wine. Life is good, right? Wrong. Just as I'm about to let out a sigh of relief, this Barbie-looking flight attendant comes strutting down the aisle. And I swear, she's got this look on her face like she's just caught someone stealing from the tip jar. She leans down, all fake smiles and condescending vibes, and says, "Ma'am, are you sure you're in the right seats? These are for business class passengers." Dude, what the actual fuck? My first instinct was to laugh because this had to be a joke, right? Like, haha, good one. But no, she's dead serious, standing there with her clipboard like some kind of seating police. I straighten up and flash her the tickets. "These are our seats," I say, keeping my voice calm because I don't want Josie getting freaked out. "Business class, right here." She doesn't even look at the tickets, not really. Instead, she gives me this tight-lipped smile, the kind people give when they're about to tell you your coupon's expired or some nonsense like that. "I'll be right back," she chirps before storming off like I just ruined her entire day. And then just when I think it can't get weirder, the damn pilot shows up. Yeah, you heard me. The freaking pilot. Tall, blonde, and radiating I run this show energy. He stomps over like I've personally insulted his flying skills. The entire cabin goes silent. Passengers are suddenly way too interested in what's happening in row 3. "Ma'am," he starts, loud enough for the entire plane to hear, "these seats are reserved for other passengers. I'm going to need you to move to economy." Excuse me? Economy? I paid for these seats with money I earned, busting my ass in the industry for years, and now Mr. Mile High Captain thinks he can just evict me like I'm trespassing? I glance at Josie, who's clutching Bunny like it's her emotional support animal. I turn back to Captain America and say, as evenly as possible, "These are our seats. Here are our tickets. Maybe there's a mistake somewhere else." That's when he pulls out his trump card. There's no mistake. Mr. Hansen, he's a VIP guest, needs this seat. So I'm going to ask you to move. Now. I blink. Mr. Hansen? Who the hell is Mr. Hansen? Is this guy the President of the United States? A secret superhero? And why does his VIP status mean I'm suddenly chopped liver? By now I can feel all these eyes on me, whispering, judging. Someone coughs, and it's like a gunshot in the silence. I can hear a guy behind me mutter, "Just let her sit. She's got a kid, for God's sake." Bless that dude, whoever he is. But the pilot? Oh no, he's not backing down. "Ma'am," he says again, his voice dripping with fake patience, "I'm asking you to cooperate." Cooperate? Are you kidding me? I stare at him, trying to decide if I should laugh, cry, or flip the whole damn plane upside down. But before I can answer, Josie tugs on my sleeve and whispers, "Mommy, did we do something bad?" And that's what broke me. Because now my baby thinks we're the bad guys in this whole mess. "No, sweetie," I tell her softly, even though my blood is boiling. "We didn't do anything wrong. But trust me, I'm about to make things very, very right." So here I am, sitting in my paid-for, rightfully earned business class seat with my daughter Josie clinging to her stuffed bunny, staring down the pilot, who apparently thinks he's some kind of airborne sheriff. The tension in the cabin? You could cut it with a butter knife. And trust me, if looks could kill, I'd be the headline on tonight's news. "Woman denied seat in business class by ego-driven pilot. Film at 11. Captain Power Trip is still standing there, his hands on his hips, staring at me like I've personally insulted his entire ancestry. And before I can even respond, he ups the ante. "Ma'am, I'm not going to ask you again," he announces, loud enough for everyone in the next 3 rows to hear. "If you don't move, I will have to call security to escort you and your daughter to economy." Now let me tell you, nothing flips the switch on my patience faster than someone threatening my kid. I tilt my head, smile that kind of smile you give when you're about to go nuclear, and say, "Sir, you do what you need to do, but you're not taking me or my daughter anywhere." At this point, the murmurs from the other passengers are getting louder. I hear someone behind me whisper, "What's his problem?" "She's got a ticket." Another woman chimes in, "Leave her alone. She's with her child." Bless these strangers and their sudden sense of justice, but Captain Ego isn't listening. No, this guy doubles down. He turns to the flight attendant, Barbie 2.0, and snaps, "Get Mr. Hansen on board now. He needs this seat." And that's when I get my first glimpse of Mr. Hansen, the so-called VIP. He strolls onto the plane with all the swagger of a guy who just won the lottery but still complains about taxes. He's wearing sunglasses indoors because of course he is, a leather jacket that probably costs more than my car, and this smug grin that makes me want to throw my complimentary pretzels at his face. The guy doesn't even glance at me or Josie. Instead, he looks straight at the pilot and says, "What's the holdup? I've got places to be." "The holdup," I interject, my voice cutting through the cabin like a whip, "is you trying to steal a seat I paid for." That gets his attention. Hansen lowers his sunglasses just enough to give me a once-over, like he's trying to figure out if I'm a threat or just a minor inconvenience. Then he scoffs, like I'm some kind of unwashed peasant trying to crash his castle. "Look, lady," he says, oozing entitlement, "just move to the back of the plane. I don't have time for this." Oh no. Oh hell no. I feel my blood pressure hit dangerous levels, but before I can unload on this guy, Josie tugs on my sleeve again. Her little voice breaks my heart. "Mommy, can we stay here? Bunny likes this seat." You ever feel a rage so strong it makes you see red? Yeah, that was me. But instead of exploding, I take a deep breath, kiss Josie on the forehead, and turn back to Hansen, the pilot, and the entire peanut gallery watching this circus unfold. "Listen carefully," I say, my voice calm, but sharp enough to draw blood. "I'm not moving. Not for you, not for him, not for anyone. My daughter and I have these seats, and we're staying right here." The cabin goes dead silent. Even Hansen seems taken aback for a second, but then he shakes his head, muttering something about people these days before turning to the pilot. "Just deal with this," he says, waving a dismissive hand in my direction. "I'm not wasting my time." And the pilot? He looks like he's about 2 seconds away from throwing a full-on tantrum. He storms off toward the front of the plane, probably to call for backup or file a complaint against humanity. Meanwhile, the flight attendant, who by the way hasn't said a word in my defense, stands there awkwardly, avoiding eye contact with me like I'm contagious. As the minutes drag on, more passengers start chiming in. A man across the aisle says, "She's got a point. If she paid for the seat, it's hers." Another woman adds, "What kind of airline lets a pilot bully a mother and her kid?" But just as I'm starting to feel like maybe, just maybe, the tide is turning in my favor, the pilot returns. And this time he's got reinforcements, the airline manager. The manager is this slimy-looking guy in a cheap suit who clearly got promoted for his ability to say, "I'm sorry," without actually meaning it. He crouches down to my eye level, like I'm a child he's trying to bribe with candy, and says, "Ma'am, we deeply apologize for this inconvenience. But Mr. Hansen is one of our valued passengers, and we need to accommodate him." "Accommodate him?" I repeat, my voice dripping with sarcasm. "Great. There's plenty of room in economy." The manager blinks, clearly not expecting pushback. "I'm sure we can find a solution that works for everyone," he tries again, his tone sickly sweet. "Here's a solution," I snap. "Leave us alone and let us enjoy the seats we paid for." At this point, the tension in the cabin is suffocating. Everyone is watching, waiting to see what happens next. The manager glances nervously at Hansen, who's now tapping his foot like a toddler denied a cookie. The pilot is standing off to the side, arms crossed, looking like he's about to burst a blood vessel. And me? I'm sitting there with Josie on my lap, ready to fight this battle to the bitter end. The manager's fake politeness is wearing thin, and Hansen's patience, gone. The guy throws his hands in the air and huffs, "You know what? Forget it. Just call security and get her out of my seat." "Security? Are we really doing this?" I glance at Josie, who's still clinging to Bunny like it's her only lifeline. My jaw tightens. "Go ahead," I say, locking eyes with Hansen. "Call them, but when they get here, make sure you're ready to explain why you think my seat isn't good enough for me." The murmurs from the other passengers get louder. Phones are out now. People are recording, whispering, "She's got a point," and "This is insane." Hansen starts looking uncomfortable. The manager glances at the pilot, and for a second I think they might actually back off. But then someone in the back row shouts, "Wait a minute, isn't that Candace Lawrence?" The cabin erupts. Whispers turn into full-blown chatter. "She's an actress. I saw her in that movie." Phones are Googling faster than ever. Within seconds, someone's holding up her IMDb page like it's a court document. Hansen freezes. The manager pales. The pilot? He looks like he's just swallowed a wasp. "You're Candace Lawrence?" He stammers like the name itself has knocked the air out of him. "That's me," I say, smiling just enough to twist the knife. "And my daughter and I are keeping our seats." The tension shifts. Suddenly the crowd is on my side, phones aimed squarely at Hansen, the pilot, and their circus of entitlement. Hansen mumbles something about not knowing, but it's too late. The court of public opinion has spoken, and I'm winning this trial. The manager scrambles into damage control mode. Miss Lawrence, we deeply apologize for this misunderstanding. Of course, you and your daughter are welcome to remain in your seats. Hansen's jaw drops. You've got to be kidding me. She's nobody compared to... Compared to what? I cut him off, my voice sharp. You think you're better because someone told you you're a big deal? Newsflash. I've worked just as hard for my success, and I don't need to steal seats from mothers and kids to prove it. The cabin cheers. Actual applause. Hansen glares at me. The pilot looks like he wants to crawl into the cockpit and never come out, and the manager is sweating through his cheap suit. We'll find Mr. Hansen another seat, the manager says quickly. Please, enjoy your flight. Hansen's forced to shuffle to economy, and the sound of clapping follows him down the aisle. Justice? Served. Once Hansen's gone and the cabin settles down, I turn to Josie, who's finally relaxed enough to lean back in her seat. See, sweetie? Sometimes you just have to stand up for what's right. She smiles. And for the first time since this mess started, I feel at peace. Across the aisle, a woman leans over and says, "Good for you. That was something to see." By the time we land, the video of the incident has gone viral. Headlines read, "Actress Candace Lawrence stands her ground against entitled pilot and VIP." My phone's blowing up with messages, and people are already calling it an iconic moment for moms everywhere. But you know what? None of that matters as much as Josie holding my hand, Bunny tucked under her arm, whispering, "I'm proud of you, Mommy." Damn right, kiddo. Damn right.